do, bro. That's what the Zyzz cunts do. That's what the revolution is, bro. None of these fucking sad cunts. We're all gonna fucking make it, bro. That's it.
Zyzz was dead at 22. A ripped, shredded icon, worshipped by millions online, gone in the blink of an eye.
To Jervis Bay, went to some real shitty country town called Berry, and we went to a Buddhist temple, which is actually pretty good. All in all, it was a good trip.
Just days earlier, Aziz Zyzz Shervishan was living every young man's dream. Famous, adored, and at the top of the fitness game.
You want a photo?
Yeah, okay.
You want a photo? Yep, yep. Wow.
But on August 5th, 2011, Zyzz was found dead in a sauna in Bangkok, Thailand, alone. His heart giving out after years of drug use and mounting pressure to keep up the persona he had built. What the world had seen as a god was in reality a young man addicted to steroids, trapped by the image he had created, and the addiction that helped him fuel it. Zyzz's transformation from a scrawny nerdy kid to an influential bodybuilder who defined the aesthetic era in bodybuilding is what initially drew so many to him. Growing up, Zyzz was the classic underdog, bullied for his appearance and labeled a sad cunt by his peers. At school, Zyzz was the captain of his chess club, graduated top of his grade, and was deeply obsessed with World of Warcraft. He embodied the stereotypical nerd, which made him a frequent target of bullying. Born in Moscow in 1989 to a family that later immigrated to Australia, Aziz Zyzz Shervishan did not grow up as the confident, larger-than-life character that we know today. His parents, both highly educated, a university lecturer and a cardiologist, wanted the best for their children. But despite the privilege of a stable upbringing, Zyzz faced problems no one could fix: his self-esteem and body image.
Bro, fucking lay him out. You fucking do that now, you'll get fucking dropped, lad. I'll fucking feed you, cunt. Come out these things, you fucking wog faggot. You fucking little fucking faggot, bro. I'll fucking drop you, cunt. Yeah, what, bro? Like, that's what you Zyzz lovers as well, bro. Guys are fucking...
Growing up in Sydney, Zyzz was quiet, shy, and lacked the confidence to socialize with others. At this point, there was nothing to indicate he would later become a fitness sensation. But there was one key influence in his life: his older brother, Zyzz Shervishan, better known as Chest Bra. Zyzz was everything Zyzz was not: muscular, outgoing, and a gym rat. Zyzz watched as his brother transformed his body through weight training, and it struck a chord with him. Zyzz realized that if his brother could achieve such a drastic physical transformation, so could he. It wasn't just about the muscles, it was about the confidence that came with them. Zyzz was sick of feeling small and invisible. He wanted to stand out. That's when Zyzz made a decision that would change the course of his life. He sold his prized World of Warcraft account, which had taken years to build, and used that money to buy a gym membership. With that one click, he left behind the safety of the virtual world and dove headfirst into the real one. In 2007, Zyzz began his journey toward building his now legendary physique. His transformation was not just about becoming stronger, but reshaping his entire identity. Zyzz had trained for hours every day, and although his initial goal was to impress girls, he soon became hooked on the personal satisfaction that came with physical fitness.
He was on the gram before the gram existed. He was the guy who started it all. Like, he was the voice for all the skinny dudes out there who wanted to get bigger and get attention or get girls and get noticed or get respect.
Zyzz's rise to prominence was not limited to his physical transformation alone. He was also a key figure in what became known as bro culture, adopting a humorous and sometimes trolling persona that appealed to young men struggling with their own insecurities. Phrases like "you Myron bro" and "we're all gonna make it bruh" became catchphrases for his growing fanbase known as the Aesthetics Crew. This crew followed Zyzz lifestyle philosophy of sculpting the perfect body, partying hard, and not caring what others thought. Zyzz influence extended far beyond his appearance. He became a trailblazer, creating what he called the aesthetic movement. Unlike the traditional bodybuilders who prioritized sheer size and bulk, Zyzz focused on muscle definition and balance, making the world of bodybuilding feel more attainable. In stark contrast, Jay Cutler represented the old guard. A multiple-time Mr. Olympia champion, Cutler's career was built on consistency, massive size, and unmatched dedication to the sport. Qualities that made him a beloved figure in bodybuilding, but also kept him in a different league from everyday fitness enthusiasts.
I diet anywhere between 12 to 16 weeks for competition. The most important thing is probably for getting that lean, dry look for bodybuilders is definitely following a strict diet for a number of months. I mean, it takes me 3 or 4 months to get in top shape.
Zyzz, on the other hand, broke down those barriers. His emphasis on aesthetics over pure size opened up bodybuilding to a wider audience, especially young men who felt intimidated by the massive physiques of legends like Cutler. This accessibility is what made Zyzz a sensation, inspiring a new generation to step into the gym and chase their own version of perfection.
Ready? This is how a champion eats. Raw egg. See that? Got a few sardines in there. Put a sardine with the raw egg. Mush the sardine and the raw egg together. See that? That's beautiful. A few cottage cheese.
I feel sick.
Get the cottage cheese. More cottage cheese. How about another egg? Mush that motherfucker up. Why not put some cottage cheese in there as well?
Oh my god.
Look at that shit, ready? Woo! Sardines. Thanks, bro.
But with his rise in popularity came criticism. While many people admired his physique and persona, others labeled him narcissistic, shallow, and even misogynistic. These accusations, however, did not deter Zyzz from fully embracing the public image he had created. The more hate he received, the more determined he was to thrive off it. As he once said in his videos, it's just an effing act. There is no Zyzz, everyone has a little bit of Zyzz on them. You are a fucking sick cunt if you want to be, bruh. Despite this bravado, there was a side of Zyzz that his public persona did not fully reveal. Friends and family noted that Zyzz often struggled with the pressures of fame, particularly the need to constantly maintain his Zyzz character. His brother Saeed, who continued to go by the moniker Chest Bra, explained how Zyzz sometimes felt trapped in the role he had created. The pressure to always look perfect, always play the part, and always be the icon wore him down over time.
That topped with his height, his broad shoulders, his tiny slim 31-inch waist. He just had the body of a fucking Greek god. He had the body that people strove to look like. If there was a picture of the perfect body in the dictionary, he's fucking total there, no one else is.
Despite these struggles, Zyzz influence continued to grow. He launched his own protein label, released his book Zyzz Bodybuilding Bible, and started a clothing line. He became a fixture at music festivals and raves, often surrounded by fans who viewed him as a living legend. It wasn't uncommon for Zyzz to be asked for photos hundreds of times in one night while out at an event. By this point, Zyzz had solidified himself as not only a fitness influencer, but also a larger-than-life internet personality. But behind the fun and fame, Zyzz had started taking performance-enhancing drugs to maintain his physique. He was open about his steroid use on bodybuilding forums, and though he often downplayed the extent of his drug use, it was increasingly clear to those close to him that the lifestyle he was leading was unsustainable. His brother Saeed had been charged with possession of anabolic steroids in Australia, and Zyzz was no stranger to the drug culture that surrounded bodybuilding and the rave scene. In fact, just days before Zyzz's death, fellow bodybuilder Tim Sharkey Ward had urged him to slow down on his steroid use, warning him of the dangers that lay ahead.
When I was like 22, 23 is when I first started using PEDs. I was doing like tests at like 500 mgs every second rave. Like that was on like almost every month, you know what I mean? And then I'd go through these months and I'd be popping Molly and, you know, drinking a lot and mixing that with the PEDs. And then as you get older, shit changes, dude. Your body punishes you for you punishing your body. Your body's saying, I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
Nir Underwood, an anthropologist who has spent years studying the underground world of image and performance enhancing drugs, IPEDs, especially among those who idolize Zyzz, dove deep into the Zyzz fandom, a legion of young men who worship Zyzz's shredded physique and larger-than-life persona. For them, Zyzz is not just a fitness icon. He's a blueprint for transforming from a nobody into a god. And for many of these fans, the path to that transformation involves one thing: drugs.
Who uses these drugs? Well, in the past it was mainly athletes or competitive bodybuilders, but now that bodybuilding has become mainstream, most iPed users are recreational bodybuilders who we know very little about. Previous research has focused on iPed users as criminals or individuals with body image problems and hasn't examined what iPeds mean to users.
Unlike the usual approach of painting IPEDs users as criminals or addicts, Underwood exposed the social reasons these recreational bodybuilders turn to substances. These aren't pro athletes chasing trophies. They are regular guys chasing the kind of social validation Zyzz enjoyed. Attention from women, admiration from men, and the ultimate revenge on their past insecurities.
There are thousands of Zyzz fans around the world. In fact, the most popular Zyzz video has over 10 million views. According to his fans, Zyzz used iPeds to transform his body from ectomorph to shredded.
Zyzz fans live by his videos, his memes, and his lifestyle. They wanted that Myron Bra admiration at any cost. Underwood spent hours observing these fans online, exploring their attitudes towards steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs. What she found is kind of unsettling.
Zyzz and some fans said that it also gave them power over women. A shredded body attracted women so men didn't have to chase them, and it also gave men the ability to be selective and reject women.
While professional bodybuilders often take breaks from performance-enhancing drugs to let their bodies recover, recreational users in the Zyzz fandom, they are on IPEDs non-stop. No cycles, no breaks. The relentless pressure to maintain that picture-perfect image traps them in a vicious loop of constant drug use, where short-term glory is always put ahead of long-term health. Derek from MorePlatesMoreDates.com has extensively covered the obsession surrounding Zyzz's rumored steroid use, his so-called stack.
Compounds used: D-Bol, Kickstart, Testy, and Deca. So that is like the classic forum bro bulking cycle, which is hyper-aggressive for a guy who doesn't, like, you would have to know at this point that you're going to be doing blasting and cruising if you're going to use Deca on your second cycle. Like how long, the duration of action, how suppressive it is, even in micro amounts.
People have been piecing together what Zyzz might have taken, discussing substances like Deca, Sustanon, Test-E, and Tren. These were not mild doses either. According to Derek, Zyzz's likely steroid cycles were aggressive, especially for someone at such an early stage in his steroid journey.
Really fucking jacked aesthetic dudes that you would think represent like good quality information because their physiques are just immaculate and like top 0.001% physiques that like win shows and shit. They have fucking horrible cycle designs that are unhealthy as hell, and you could otherwise accomplish the same thing with much smarter choices.
Derek also emphasized a key problem of the time: misinformation. Back then, accurate details about safe steroid use were almost non-existent, and forums were flooded with bad advice. He strongly advocated for people to understand their health before diving into steroid use, especially heart health.
Take anything is at least get a base EKG, which is an electrocardiogram, not to get confused with an echocardiogram. So this is something that's going to check for arrhythmias, anything kind of abnormal from a base level of your cardiac function. This will pick up and then sort of reveal if you need additional, more thorough testing through a echocardiogram, which you would then hopefully get referred to a cardiologist who would then evaluate you and kind of take you under to, not like put you under, but they would, you know, take you on as a patient and kind of give you a thorough assessment so you can actually see what's going on.
His advice? Get an EKG and have a cardiologist evaluate you. Just because someone looks good on the outside does not mean they know what they're doing with these dangerous substances. Even top influencers, Derek warns, are following unsafe practices without fully understanding the risks.
Like that was not too long before the Boston Lloyd generation started, I guess, where guys just assumed, you know, more shit equals more or whatever, and then we soon realized that there is actually a cutoff point where more is not better, and it in fact can put you backwards.
Zyzz, despite never competing at the professional level, was an internet sensation. He pushed millions to start their fitness journeys and take control of their physical health.
I'm telling you right now, if you fuck around in the gym, if you fuck around doing a few bicep curls, if you isolate, you need to get the base first. So you need to fucking train as hard as you can and push yourself. You need to put yourself on a level where your body doesn't want to keep going, and when you reach that point, you keep going. And what you will see is basically your body will be put into overdrive, and that's how gains are made. It's not made by going to a gym and just fucking around with your mates, having a laugh, doing a few sets. You're not going to get a good body like that. You got to push yourself past that break. Your body doesn't want to change naturally. That's why you got to force itself.
But his legacy is a double-edged sword. While he inspired people to improve themselves, he also promoted a reckless YOLO mindset, living for the moment and ignoring the dangers that came with it.
I guess you could say some of the core people that I really looked up to the most would have been like, Zyzz was definitely up there.
Fitness influencer David Lade, now a well-known bodybuilder, remembers idolizing Zyzz when he was just 13 years old. Back then, he worshipped Zyzz like a god, fully embracing his philosophy and approach to life.
Because I know, it's interesting for me when it comes to Zyzz, because when I knew about Zyzz, I was, what, 13 years old? So I'm like young, immature kid. I'm like idolizing him like he's this god. I'm subscribing to his religion, etc. But it's interesting, you know, getting older now, you know, getting a understanding how, you know, someone that's older and more mature would perceive Zyzz, and just like how like reckless and out of his mind he was.
But as David grew older, he realized how reckless some of Zyzz's behavior had been. That shift marks David's own journey, from blind admiration in his youth to a more mature understanding of his former role model's flaws. When questioned by the Daily Telegraph, Zyzz adamantly denied ever using steroids, claiming his impressive physique was solely the result of relentless work in the gym and a strict diet. However, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, the company that employed Zyzz as a stripper noted he was a lovely guy aside from the steroids. Zyzz often used terms like riding bicycles, a gym slang for cycling steroids, further fueling speculation about his drug use. In August 2011, Zyzz traveled to Thailand for what was meant to be a relaxing break from his increasingly chaotic life. He planned to stay for a month, but tragically never made it home. On August 5th, Zyzz suffered a heart attack in a sauna in Bangkok. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite the efforts of medical personnel, he could not be resuscitated.
A well-known Sydney bodybuilder has died after collapsing in a sauna in Thailand. Doctors say the 23-year-old had an undiagnosed heart condition, but some say a growing obsession with body image is dangerous.
Zyzz was just 22 years old when he died. His death shocked his family and fans alike, many of whom could not believe that someone so young and seemingly invincible could be taken so suddenly. A post-mortem examination later revealed that Zyzz had an undiagnosed congenital heart condition that had likely been aggravated by his steroid use. His mother, Maria Shavershan, expressed the family's devastation at losing their youngest son, saying, "I am shattered, we are doing very bad." Saeed, Zyzz's brother, shared his grief publicly, posting on social media, "Rip brother, I loved you so much. It wasn't supposed to end like this. I can't stop fucking crying, I'm dying on the inside. I will see you soon. You weren't just my brother. You were my best friend too. Miss you so much, I just hope I wake up tomorrow and this is all a bad dream." In the wake of Zyzz's death, tributes poured in from around the world. Fans shared stories of how Zyzz had inspired them to turn their lives around, to get in shape, and to be more confident. One fan wrote, "Zyzz changed my life. When my life was hard and I felt like there was nowhere left to go, Zyzz showed me a new world." Even influencers like the Hodge twins weighed in on his impact. In a reflective video, they discussed the life and influence of the young bodybuilder who had passed away at just 22.
Death and all that shit, but y'all guys want to know my thoughts on the passing of Zyzz, right?
They began by acknowledging how Zyzz had motivated countless people with his journey from a skinny, insecure kid to a fitness icon with an impressive physique.
He was a natural bodybuilder, right? What I knew about the guy. But, you know, at one point in time, he was super skinny growing up. And dude put on a lot of muscle, right? So, quite naturally, he's going to be an inspiration to anybody looking to build up their physique.
Despite the hate and criticism he faced, particularly around his appearance, Zyzz never lost focus. He stayed driven and achieved an extraordinary transformation.
He had a lot of haters too. A lot of guys didn't like this guy because of his appearance, I would think.
Oh yeah, I mean, that dude's gonna look at Zyzz and be all butthurt because he getting all the pussy, right? Yeah. He got the great physique, right? So yeah, that's gonna come along with it, right? Yeah. It's just the way shit is. Fucked up, but that's the way shit is.
The twins also touched on the controversial topic of steroid use, stressing that it's a personal choice. They pointed out that while there was no solid proof Zyzz used steroids, it didn't negate the hard work he put in at the gym.
But you know, the guy just passed. The dude was only in his early freaking 20s.
He's 22.
So, which is very fucking sad, right? That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, a lot of you guys been asking, do you think he was on steroids? It doesn't even matter. He's dead and he's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, as far as we know, he was a natural bodybuilder. He claims that he was a natural bodybuilder. Sure. There's no evidence stating that he took steroids. But even if he did take steroids, he still made one heck of a body. He still had to put in his work, even if he did take steroids.
Yeah. I mean, that's nobody's choice but their own, right?
They also questioned what it truly meant to be natural in an industry filled with lab-created supplements and products.
And if you ask me, no one's really natural anyway. All these products, all these supplements are created in a lab. One's just a hormone, one is from natural, you know, places, but we all are fucking...
How fucking natural is it to get 5 grams of protein? You know how much meat you gotta eat to get that naturally?
5 grams?
5 grams of creatine?
Yeah, you meant creatine. Yeah, creatine, all this stuff, man, everything's created in a lab, man.
Yeah, so who the fuck really is natural?
So who cares if it's on steroids?
He should be an inspiration to people because look at the dude's physique.
As the conversation shifted to Zyzz's tragic death in a sauna, the twins expressed doubts about these circumstances, finding it hard to believe that he was alone when he passed.
Dude's gone. It's fucked up. Dude died in the sauna. Even got robbed when he was fucking dead, you know?
It's kind of hard to believe, man. What was his friends at? I mean, someone like this ain't gonna be by themselves inside of a sauna, you know? I find that hard to believe he was by himself when this happened. You know, in a sauna, at his age, 22, Zyzz,
pussy,
this dude.
Ain't no pussy around him.
Reflecting on his dedication to fitness, they emphasized how Zyzz aimed for an ideal balance, wanting to look amazing without becoming excessively large or unnatural.
He looked at bodybuilding as if I want to look good. I don't want to become this like.
I don't want to be a freak, right? I want to look great. Yeah. Right.
In the end, the Hodge twins delivered a powerful message. They praised his relentless work ethic, his inspirational journey, and closed with a simple yet profound reminder: appreciate life and live every moment to its fullest.
What we learned from this fucking dude's death is, hey man, live it up. You never know when your fucking time comes, man.
Yeah.
But still, Zyzz's story is also a reminder of the dangers that come with the pressures of fame and the unchecked use of performance-enhancing drugs. While Zyzz often portrayed himself as invincible, his death served as a cautionary tale to many who followed in his footsteps. His use of anabolic steroids, while common in the bodybuilding world, undoubtedly played a role in his untimely demise. As noted by Dr. Aziz in a detailed video examination, anabolic steroids can lead to an enlarged heart, which increases the risk of heart failure, a risk that likely contributed to Zyzz's death.
This may have caused or at least contributed to his demise. Zyzz even posted here on bodybuilding.com querying DNP dosages, whether he can use it with clenbuterol and how it affects thyroid levels. DNP poisoning can include fever, dehydration, nausea, vomiting, restlessness, flushed skin, and a rapid heartbeat. These can quickly progress to coma and death.
Zyzz's legacy had been carried on by his brother Saeed, who has made it his mission to continue inspiring others in the fitness community. In the years since Zyzz's death, Saeed has remained active on social media, sharing workout tips and motivational messages in honor of his brother's memory.
And how old was he?
He was 22 at the time.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Motherfucker was huge for 22 though. Imagine if he was around now.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. It's been 12 years, man. Still got the same hairstyle.
Wow.
Still fucking training.
Legit. Wait, he actually my age? How? I'm 33.
He would have been a year older than you, my guy. He would have been 34 right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he would have been 34.
Damn.
Saeed has spoken openly about how difficult it has been to cope with Zyzz's passing, but he has also expressed his pride in the positive impact that Zyzz had on so many people.
I immediately knew. I'm like I remember looking at him in the coffin. Like I literally looked at him in the coffin. I saw him like open casket. And I looked at him and I said, I'm going to make sure every motherfucker knows who you are.
Today, Zyzz's influence can still be felt in gyms, festivals, and online communities around the world. His catchphrases, memes, and motivational speeches continue to inspire a new generation of fitness enthusiasts, many of whom credit Zyzz with helping them find confidence in themselves. Though his life was short, Zyzz's message of self-improvement, confidence, and not taking life too seriously has left a lasting impact on those who admired him.
He had a whole bunch of videos that he left on his computer. It sounds fucking creepy and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's as if he knew he was going to die. If something was going to happen, it's as if he wanted me to find his hard drive and find those videos and release them. Because when I went on his computer after he passed away a week ago, there were all these videos of him talking, giving speeches, motivational talks. I'm like, he hasn't posted any of these. Was he going to post any of these? Like what am I supposed to do? What do I do?
If you've been inspired or learned something new today, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more on content like this one.